Yo, good evening, everybody. This is another episode of the Because I Feel Like a Podcast. It's Marcus. I got Artie here. I got Swerve. We got a loaded show we're going, bring to y'all. We wanted to recap the Thursday and Friday game, the football games, and then also talk about the Canelo and Bud Friday game, the football games, and then also yeah. we're going we're going to talk about the Bud and Canelo fight that's coming up next week. It's gonna be a lot of things, man. Hey fellas, what's been going on?
What's up, Artie?
All good over here, man. A beautiful week. Cowboys 0-1. Chiefs 0-1.
Yeah,
Beautiful week. Beautiful week. What's going on?
shit,
Hey,
man. Obviously for the Eagles fans, go Birds. You know what I mean? We got one off. I know my guy sitting down there. He been sparring with Cowboys fans. I'm almost in retirement from that shit, man. It's too easy. You know what I mean? Like it's too easy to be, just to drag them. And I think they're on life support right now anyway. But I'm gonna let you start off, Marv. How'd you feel about the Thursday night game?
so going into the game, the plus 8.5, only the plus 8.5, I stayed away from because simply for the fact that the Eagles don't put their starters in the first, and I knew the game was going to be closer than that plus 8.5,
Right.
at least. So my thoughts were that the Eagles were going to win, but I thought they would win by like a touchdown. I thought they would win by like a touchdown just based on not playing your starters in the preseason. And then, and even though it was a night game, it was still like 80 degrees. And then if you're on the field with all the lights, it's probably 90 degrees, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you got guys who haven't played live action all season. So I thought that it was going to be like everything going into the game. I thought everything but talent favored Dallas.
Yeah.
So, and what I mean by that is that if you line these teams up if you line a team up that played, if you line up both teams, even minus Jalen Carter, if you line up both teams 5 weeks from now,
Yeah.
the Eagles win that game by 14, 15 points easily. But being it was the first game, you don't know, neither team actually knew what they have on the field. Neither team played their starters a lot during the preseason. Dallas lost Micah Parsons. And then Jalen Carter not being there just made me think, like, I think this is going to be the worst performance we see from the Eagles all year. I'm confident enough to say that what we saw Thursday is probably going to be the worst game they play all year. You got to think, Jalen Hurts targeted A.J. Brown one time. His first target didn't come until the third quarter. Saquon was held under 100 yards. Smitty had 3 catches for 30-something yards. Jahan Dotson led the Eagles in receiving. The Eagles didn't record a sack. The Eagles gave up 5 yards of carry in the first half.
Yeah.
And it's just like Dory Jackson got smoked all game. But I'm not gonna say he's Barbara Maxwell Jr. just yet. I'm gonna say he got smoked in the game. He didn't play a lot of reps in the preseason, and you were missing the best interior pass rusher on the Eagles. So I want to see him get another shot. But I think Bennett's going to take that spot. But overall, the goal was to go 1-0 every week, and they came out the game 1-0.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go start in the beginning of the game, from before the game, before we even had a snap. And I think y'all know where I'm going, right? With the situation, between Dak and Jalen Carter. I'm gonna start off by saying I am not a fan of, regardless of seeing the beginning, and then what proceeded it. I'm not a fan of either. And the reason why I'm saying that is because of the fact that Dak baited him. Yes, does Dak spit all the time? Yes, he does. But he also knew what type of mental state that Jalen Carter plays with, right? He knew who he was. He knew if he did anything to push him, he would react. Especially it being a Dallas and Eagles confrontation, right? I'm not, like I said, I don't condone what Dak did. Dak was playing with him, but Jalen should have also knew, regardless of the situation, man, like there's ways to handle that situation, right? What I would have done, I can't, you know what I mean? Like no one deserves to get spit on, period. You know, we're just gonna get to that. You know what I mean? However, how Jalen handled what Dak did, he should have handled it differently, especially because he didn't spit on him, right? He had two options. He could have handled it under the legal way, which means when you get a hand on Dak during the game, you put him down, right? You put him down a little bit more forcefully, you know. And then if he leaves the game, that's what it is, right? But that's under the rules of the game. You see what I'm saying?
So, me looking at it, like Dak knew exactly what he was doing, right? We know Dak's soft. Dak's a vagina, right? And that's what I'm gonna call it because we all know Dak is kitten. Dak's a kitty. And then he did it and winked and said whatever he said. They exchanged words. I respect Jalen because if you spit at me, like, don't tell me how to respond to disrespect. I hate when people tell people how to respond to disrespect. So if you do something towards me that I deem as disrespectful, and then I decide that I'm going to respond to your disrespect by going over the top, because if you disrespect me as a person, if you disrespect me, I smack your mom if I see her outside type shit. That's what I be on if you disrespect me. So if you spit at me, like that spit at him, towards him. If you spit at me, I'm going to walk up to you and let you know I think spitting at me is soft. So I'm going to spit on you.
Right.
To let you know. So was it boneheaded? Yes. The Eagles definitely are lacking a veteran presence because I believe if there was a Slay there or there was a Sweat there or there was somebody a little more mature, Carter probably wouldn't even have been on that side of the ball. So Carter has a lot of blame to shoulder, but Dak knew what he was doing. Yeah. And if you spit towards me, like if you watch him, he was in the huddle. He walked to the front of his huddle and spit. Like, bro, why couldn't you spit anywhere in that huddle?
Yeah, and the thing,
like, and I'm not saying it because of Dak. I'm saying it because, like, as a man, like I've been through that. Somebody spit on me and they didn't like the outcome. The outcome ended poorly for both of us, but it ended way worse for them. And if you see me talking about it, if I catch you outside again, it's going to end in the same way because I'm not done with you. Like I was done with you because where that situation occurred said I had to be done with it. But if I see you outside, I'm still going to handle it, and I'm still going to address it. Like spitting at a person and spitting on a person is the same thing. And if you disrespect somebody, you just have to be prepared to suffer the repercussions of your disrespect. So should Jalen Carter have handled it different? Yeah. I even if I'm Sirianni and I seen Dak spit at him and he drives him into the ground and takes a 15-yard penalty or does whatever, I'm okay with that. Spitting on him back and getting tossed, I'm okay. After seeing it, I'm okay with it, but I would have liked him to more so keep his head and handle it a different way.
And that's where I'm going. Like he had options. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling him necessarily how to react. I wouldn't tell him that. What I would tell you is that you have options, right? You have options. And what I mean is you had a legal way of handling it on both things, right? Agreed. You get him during the game because you know you knew that Cowboys line was weak. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So the probability that Jalen would have gotten back there to Dak, he could have grabbed him and drove
Choked
him
him up
through the ground, drove him through the turf. He
and
could
took
have.
that
It
yards.
took the 15, and they probably gave him 15, no doubt, right?
Yeah, and I would have
But
been okay with that.
it ended it. It ended because yes, I offer the respect. It ended his season. He could have done that, right?
He could have.
Or the other thing he could have did was, if you felt that, wait until the end of the game, not on the field, because you know where the visitor locker room is, right? You catch him back there and you beat the brakes off of him. But either way, at the most, what would have happened, which is going to happen anyway, um is a fine, right?
Yeah.
But he would have been handled either way. Do I believe that Dak is? I'm not going to tell a man that's playing in a car crash every day. I'm not going to call him soft, but is he weak socially? Yeah. Yes, he is.
Well, obviously for Dak too. If you watch the video, that because afterwards I know he said, I wasn't going to spit on my offensive lineman. If you
Right.
turn around, there's 25 yards of field, maybe
Behind
more,
you.
behind you,
Right.
and you could turn around and spit. And I don't. Obviously, Dak was trying to play it cool, and but at the same time, when you put your head up, wink at him, start talking, it was kind of obvious what you were doing in that situation. But I'm actually surprised that this isn't something that on the field the NFL can review, because I didn't think that the
Right.
referee saw from behind that he spit on Dak. I didn't think that he's seen that. Maybe Dak
Yeah.
said, because you saw Dak step back, point at him. Maybe Dak told the ref, "Hey, he
This is
spit
what
on me."
happened, right? Yeah. So
But
I do
I
agree.
would think the NFL would have to review something like that on field. There was no way the ref seen him from behind. They were too close to each other, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And if you go review it, you see Dak spit too. So that's where I think was kind of off during the game as well. Is that like, how can it was kind of like Dak told the ref, "Hey, he spit on me."
And
Then
then,
they
you know how it always is with
the second
anything.
person. Close.
You know how it is always with anything though. They never see the first person. They always see what the reaction. They never see what started it. You know what I'm saying? And because of something like that, and by the grace of just technology, NBC decided to show it. I don't know why they did, but they did. You know what I'm saying? Because normally they wouldn't. They just would have been all over them. Oh, this is horrible, which they are, right? They are currently now, but they showed the other side of it, which is okay. Now do that more. So if you see somebody getting smacked in the face with their helmet on, show what started it. You can go back a good 15 to 30 seconds to figure that out. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, from what is being reported, they're saying that Jalen Carter is not going to get suspended. He's probably going to get a big fine. And I think because NBC actually showed what preceded it, that's probably why. If that footage wasn't there, if this was 1985 or whatever, yeah, he probably, or 2015, he's probably getting suspended. You know what I mean? But so it is what it is there. But as far as the rest of the game goes, man, like obviously you see what people are talking about. Well, and it's the same slander. Jalen Hurts only threw for 152 yards, but brother, he played a clean game. He was 19 for 23, which is 84% from the
One drop by Barkley, 3 throwaways.
right.
Those are the 4 incompletions.
And 2 touchdowns rushing and 60 yard or 50 yards running,
60 yards.
I think, and we'll get into this a little bit more later. I guess with this game, we can get into it with Dak.
Yeah.
Last night, we saw Patrick Mahomes come out and throw deep every single play.
Right.
At the end of the first quarter, he was 2 of 7 for 12 yards.
It's not always there, and that's
and Dak throwing deep a lot, wasn't as efficient. It's harder for, I mean, obviously CD's great, but it's harder for the receivers to catch the ball with the defense on them like that. It's much easier to throw it to a wide open person.
Right.
And when you can't fault a quarterback for seeing somebody open and throwing the ball, that's their job.
Taking what's there.
And if it's not, and every time it wasn't there, what do you do? Run for 10 yards.
Yep.
Run for 7. Run. So my thing is this: like I'm looking at the game. The Cowboys played 2 deep all game, right? And then once Landon went out, they absolutely had no fear of the run because they were just completely okay with playing 2 deep, safeties over top, and then they were playing like a quarters defense, which was
they played cover 2.
They played tough cover 2, but a lot of times they switched to like a quarters defense, right? Where the cornerbacks drop straight back, your safety, breaking, and then like the one Dotson play, there was a play earlier in the game where they were coming out too wide. They were coming out twins. AJ came out on the outside of Cal. I think Grant was originally on the outside. AJ was in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 4 deep routes, but the Cowboys were in quarters, cover 4 quarters. The safeties fell off. Linebackers had everything underneath, and there was nobody open. And Hurts took off and gained the first down. But if you go back, they came out in the same formation and flipped it when the big play to Dodson.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I think the offensive coordinator, it's just the first game jitters. He schemed Dodson open. I think he's going to have to run more schemes, especially if teams are staying in that cover 2. If teams are going to play two deep safeties, it's going to be his job to scheme things open and get those guys open. I do think this is the most decisive I've ever seen Jalen Hurts in his 5 years here. Jalen Hurts, I think he dropped back, he made his reads, and if his foot hit the pocket, if his foot hit, he had that his internal clock was working. So if he knew if it was a 5-step drop, if his foot hit on the 5th step and his second guy wasn't open, he was taking off. If it was a 3-step drop, he tried to roll, but if it wasn't there, he took off. This is the most decisive version of Hurts I've seen. I think he played really well. I'm okay with the 151. Like you said, he had 4 incompletions, completed 84% of his passes, 65 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and a win. He left the link with a win, and that's all that matters to me. Shout out to Jordan Davis because Jordan Davis played outstanding. I know the Cowboys were gashing the defense in the first half.
Jahad Campbell too.
Because Jordan Davis he seen more double teams Thursday night. Jordan Davis seen more double teams Thursday night than he's probably seen his first 3 or 4 years in the league.
Yep. And Jahad Campbell with that punch out at the goal line, when Sanders was about to go in, and Jahad got the punch out, man. That was great too, man. It was what you saw. I'm gonna go back to Jalen real quick. What you saw in Jalen, and you know who was in the stands, right?
Yeah,
Cam.
You know Jordan was in the stands.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And Jalen, he went out there, and what did he do? He did his job. And, and it's I want to expound on something that's it's a part of the game, but it's also a part of life. Some people are just, when they make comments about certain players or certain situations or the lack of situational awareness or whatever the case may be, I just think sometimes people are allergic to seeing something go right that's positive, right? And what I mean by that is, why if I'm winning a certain way, why should I adjust if you can't stop me from winning that way? You know what I'm saying? Like, people tend to want a team or a player to play a certain way. But if they're winning on a consistent basis, Why would you try to change just because the person doesn't throw for 300 yards and run for 150? He's not a prototype quarterback.
Well, that's the thing. It's like back to what I was saying about just throwing it to the open guy. Why? Why? And I think besides, if honestly, if you're a hater, really,
Yeah,
but why would you want somebody to throw in to double coverage or triple coverage
for
to
no
feed
reason.
your ego to say, wow, okay, he's proving me wrong. You don't, those type of people, really, honestly, like I said, haters, they don't want to be proven wrong. They want him to throw into that double or triple coverage so it can be an interception.
An interception.
So they can say, see, told you Jalen is not good. That and that's what I said it on the last show that I was on too, is that the Eagles are so good and they've mastered the art of not caring about what the other people are saying, what the outside people are saying, what the media is saying.
Right.
It's like we won the game, we went home. I think they dropped a clip. I don't know when exactly it came out. AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts on the sideline of the Super Bowl, and AJ was saying everything we went through, it all worked out. Everything was good.
Yep.
And I think when people, that's another thing too. When people see that those people that they want to see do bad are just content with doing everything the right way and winning the game, winning championships, getting to the Super Bowl, I think it hurts them even more because they know that this person, Jalen, is not going to get out of himself to try to help prove them wrong. And they're so desperate to, hey, throw an interception for me real quick. Throw it into triple coverage real quick.
Yes.
So I can actually have a reason to talk about you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that too.
People, I think, and you're absolutely right, man. I think people just are allergic to just, seeing people successful doing the basics, right? If I'm beating you, punching you in the face, right? Why do I need to couple that with roundhouse kicks? It makes no sense. But it's neither here or there, man. Like the Eagles, and imagine they beat the Cowboys. Like we talked about this earlier before we jumped on already. The Eagles beat the Cowboys without using AJ Brown or Devontae. They beat them with basic, fundamental, vanilla plays. Jalen using his legs when he needed to. A healthy dose of Dallas Goedert, and the one deep ball to Dotson. So imagine if they played with they used their full complement of players.
Week 12,
and they were missing their best defender.
Week 12. But this is what I'm gonna hit you with. Like, so like we all been football fans here a long time, right? So like people fall in love with the Dan Marino. Dan Marino ain't never won shit.
Never.
Warren Moon threw the ball. Warren Moon was throwing the ball 50 times a game before it was heard of a quarterback throwing the ball 50 times a game. Warren Moon ain't won a goddamn thing. Warren Moon gave up the biggest lead in playoff history and lost to Frank Wright.
Before Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert's right behind him.
Justin Herbert second. We're going to talk about that later. It's going to lead into Justin Herbert talk.
Yeah.
So John Elway used to have big stats. John Elway didn't win the Super Bowl until Terrell Davis got there.
Yep.
John Elway didn't win a Super Bowl. Like, this is how much a run game meant. Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. Terrell Davis had 2.5 great years. If we're being honest, Terrell Davis had 2.5 great years. And two and a half of those years, out of the 2.5 great years he had, 2 of them ended up in Super Bowl champions. Like, so you look at like Joe Montana. Joe Montana always had a great run game behind him. Roger Craig. Like Roger Craig was there. People don't give Roger Craig. They think Jerry Rice and John Taylor on those second two, but Roger Craig was there. Roger Craig's one of the most underrated running backs because in season, then Ricky Waters came in, and you had that consistent threat out the backfield, right? So now I've watched Jalen Hurts throw for almost 4,000 yards and account for 50 touchdowns. And when he did that, he came in second in MVP because he got hurt, because he was the front runner before he got hurt. He came in second in MVP and took a team to the Super Bowl with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders was the running back. So now you go and get Saquon, who was washed up. I'm going to do it too. Like, it's funny how Saquon was done, and everybody said, "Oh, the Eagles are idiots for paying Saquon, and that's the worst free agency signing." And it didn't make any sense in spring, right? It didn't make any sense in the spring. Nothing added up. The Eagles had to get a bunch of super plays, and then you turn around now, and even going into the Super Bowl, like I said you to me, going into the Super Bowl, I was the only person black. And you know this, I said the Eagles was going to win by 14, 17 on Super Bowl one. Nobody else was going the way I thought. So how is this team so stacked and loaded, but nobody picked them to win the Super Bowl? Oh, Jalen Hurts has to beat you. So the guy who came in second in MVP voting and threw for 4,000 yards and accounted for 50 touchdowns the year before now is in a good quarterback because they went and got Saquon Barkley, and you make his job easier. If you tell me right now we can hire some guy that's going to come in and reduce your workload by 35%, but you still get paid the same amount of money, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
It's almost like it's a team game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much.
Exactly.
And you know, and then the funny thing you always hear is, well, they almost won, bro. Like, yeah, and that's coming really from Cowboys fans where they almost won. It's like there's no almost count column.
The point differential doesn't matter in NFL.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all, man.
You lose by 1, you lose by 50, you got that one loss.
Yep. So that is the you could make some more jokes about Cowboys fans or whatever, but it doesn't even matter, man. At this point, God bless them. The Eagles got one. It's time to move on.
I felt bad that they had to put a delay in their loss.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and then CD dropped like 3 passes on that one drive that ended it. But that it is what it is, man. Go Birds! They won 1-0. Let's go. But over to the Chiefs and Chargers game. Man, I'm gonna give Justin Herbert his prop starting off. That was to me the best game I've seen him play as a pro. You know, even though it was the first game of the season, you know, everybody mixing it up, trying to get things right. He just looked like a confident quarterback. And I think a lot of it might not necessarily have to do with him. I think it had to do a lot with Jim Harbaugh and the coaching. And he's had a whole year with him, you know, to teach him the basic fundamentals, looking and reading more, taking, like, you know, with the same thing with Jalen, taking what's there. You know, you don't have to throw the ball through. You don't have to throw the ball through 3 houses to get it to somebody. If the running back's open, you give it to Hampton. You know what I'm saying? If Lad McConkey's going over the middle, you give it to him. If Keenan Allen is running his route and he sits down, you don't have to go over to Quentin Johnston. You can just give it to Keenan right there for 8 and 9 yards. He played an error-free game, man. I want to just give him some respect for that. What do y'all think?
I'll agree with basically everything that you said. I will give some credit there where it's due to the Chiefs' defense was awful. They didn't cover anybody at all. They were terrible. But then again, you have to, as the quarterback, still make the play, still make the throw, and he did a really good job of that. But that performance by the Chiefs defense was pretty terrible in my opinion. But still, I would say still credit to Herbert to make the throws, step up, like you said, look confident. A lot of times you see Herbert do. There wasn't a lot of stupid things to do yesterday because they weren't covering anybody, but you see him do a lot of stupid things sometimes, and he didn't hold on to the ball too long. He didn't do those stupid things, and like you said, credit to him. The Chargers really look good, but the Chiefs really look bad. Like really look bad.
Yeah, the defense looked like they picked up right up from 7 months ago in the Super Bowl. They really did. It looked. If you're talking about the Chiefs, man, they look, and I hate to say it, I mean, but Kelsey, he looked old.
He looked old last year. We've been real. I told people he didn't look like the Kelsey. He didn't look like the Kelsey from 2 years ago or like a year ago last year. Kelsey's old. Kelsey's washed. Andy Reid been there, 14, 15 years. Spagnuolo I think the Eagles exposed Spags in the Super Bowl. And I was waiting to see the next game, how they performed. I want to see how they play over the next 4 weeks.
I want to see how they play next week because the Eagles seeing them.
I know, even not just next week, but you ended the season getting embarrassed. I'm gonna say it was 40-6 when I stopped watching. It was actually 40-6 when I stopped watching. Maybe 46 when I stopped watching. And then you came out and you just laid another dud to who I think is the most overrated player in the NFL, in Justin Herbert. You gonna give him respect. I don't respect nothing he does. You know why he's supposed to do that? What was he drafted? Number 1 overall?
I think he was one or two.
He was definitely top 10.
Top 10. I think he might have been 10 if I'm not mistaken. I have to go look.
Herbert, no, he wasn't number 1, but he was. I'm thinking Joey Harrington was number 3. That was the Detroit. Then Mariota was number 1, but I'm pretty sure Herbert was top 5.
Making him the third quarterback, the 6th overall pick.
Yeah, okay, let's figure that. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, who was taken before him, Marty?
Look that one up too. I'll pull the whole draft up here.
Because he was in the 2020 draft.
You got Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeff Okudah, Andrew Thomas, Tua, and then him.
Okay. Yeah. Burrow's made it to the Super Bowl.
Okudah, oof.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof. Sheesh, man. Joe, Jeff. Yeah, that's another thing, but we'll talk about it. Yeah.
So it's a guy, he's the 6th overall pick, right? 6th overall pick. Number 3 quarterback in that class. I actually liked him over Tua coming out. So it's like everybody's making this kid great. He's done absolutely nothing. He has 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in his playoff games. He gave up a 27-point lead to Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is trash. The Jaguars are trash. And you gave Doug Peterson his only playoff win in Jacksonville when you were up by 27 points, right? So you gave up a 27-point lead in the playoffs. You were the quarterback of that team. I don't care if the defense was asleep after halftime. You had a 27-point head start. And you somehow managed to lose that game.
Yeah.
Then you come back 3 years later against the Texans and you throw 4 interceptions in that game, right? But somehow everybody has you in their top 5 list. If you if you name the top 5 quarterbacks in the league and you get Patty Mahomes, you get Lamar Jackson, you get Josh Allen. I'm not going to argue with those 3. If you tell me Lamar, Josh Allen, or Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, or if you name them in the top 3, I'm not going to argue with you. And if you say a healthy Joe Burrow is number 4, you're probably not going to get an argument from me. But if you look at Justin Herbert's body of work, he is just how everybody kills Lamar for his playoff performance. The only quarterback in the league that's worse than Lamar in the playoffs is Justin Herbert. Lamar wins in the playoffs. Justin Herbert is 0-2 when they made it out. Justin Herbert had a 27-point lead and blew it in the playoffs. Like, I don't care what he does. And I don't care what Justin Herbert can throw for 5,500 yards and 60 touchdowns this year. And until he goes and wins that first playoff game, I can't get behind it. And because Justin Herbert is getting praised for his play on Friday, and then you got the same people who are praising Justin Herbert's career hate Jalen Hurts.
And that's where this is what I do now. You know how I do. I pick them apart. You know, I'm not gonna let you slander one and not bring up the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has 0 playoff wins. I get it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, to me, this is just for me, right? I think the addition of Jim Harbaugh makes a difference with that team, because whatever deficiencies and we know he does have some, whatever deficiencies that Herbert has, Harbaugh is such a good coach that he will be able, right? Exactly, to the point where hopefully eventually you would think that, okay, it's almost like you got your training wheels, right? Like Jim is his training wheels. Eventually there is going to become a moment, because this is year 6, right? There's going to come a moment where he's going to have to take those training wheels off, and because he has a great coach, he should be taking in that mentorship and coaching to the point where when that moment comes, he should be ready. This isn't Staley, who was his coach before that. Who was the other coach? Or was Staley his only coach?
Staley's horrible. Like,
what I'm saying, was Staley his only coach?
Was his only coach. Harbaugh been there too.
Right. So, and I think Whisenhunt was his OC at the time, but you have the right coach for you. If you don't get this right now, you aren't getting it.
And they figured, okay, let's go get him another wide receiver. They brought back somebody he had before in Keenan Allen. Right. And kind of utilized them differently last night than they did before. And just they're making everything so much more quarterback friendly for him.
Possession weighted.
Yeah, way more quarterback friendly. And I think I still have it here. If you take away this is interesting. So if you take away the yards after catch per attempt, because people said, oh, well, Jalen only threw it short.
Mm-hmm.
Per attempt without yards after catch, Justin Herbert had 5.4. Jalen Hurts had 4.8, Patrick Mahomes 3.9, Dak Prescott 3.3 yards per attempt without the yards after catch. They've made there's different stories in this, that Patrick Mahomes and Dak maybe weren't as efficient, went deep a lot. But the two more efficient quarterbacks here, they weren't throwing but 5.5 yards every pass. And somehow they were more efficient. The other two that were throwing a lot deeper, and their offenses weren't as quarterback friendly, no matter what the weapons are. Obviously, CD is great, but this offense for Justin Herbert is a lot more quarterback friendly than ever before. So to Mar's point, you have to look better. You have to. I mean, they're making it a lot easier for him, a lot easier.
And that's what Marv is saying. Like, and I think that's what he's saying too. Yeah. Give the same grace to Hurts and the others that you give to Herbert. You know what I'm saying?
Herbert's got a 5-year pass. We know the offense is friendly because you're running the same offense, and I'm not going to say too much about him because he's going to make his debut on Sunday. But is JJ McCarthy really a first-round pick? Absolutely not. But that offense and the way he handled it sold him to the Vikings. And if that offense can make JJ McCarthy a first-round pick, I'm sure it's going to make Herbert look like he's great. But honestly, Herbert, he won Rookie of the Year. Right? He had a really good rookie year. After that, he's won nothing. Even if there's talented quarterbacks in the AFC. You have the four of the top 5 quarterbacks are in the AFC, right?
Yep.
So you got Pat, you got Josh Allen, you got Lamar, you have Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert didn't lose to Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar, Pat Mahomes in the playoffs.
Trevor and CJ
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. He's been outplayed by Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. And I'm not saying quarterbacks aren't win-loss stats. I know the quarterbacks get credited with the wins or losses, but what I'm saying to you is that the Falcons were up 28-3. And they lost to Tom Brady. If I'm up 34-7 to Trevor Lawrence, I'm not losing the game if I'm up 34-7 to Trevor Lawrence. I'm not losing the game if I'm up 27-0 to Trevor Lawrence. Right?
Colorado Buffalo's time management there.
Yeah.
And then you got CJ Stroud. The Texans weren't this powerhouse team. The Texans were decent, but they weren't great.
And they were struggling into the playoffs.
Yeah. They limped into the playoffs. And then you went and had your worst game ever. 4 interceptions. It's they pick and choose, and Josh fits the mold. He's 6'5". He's big 6'5", 220-pound, big arm, pocket passer. He has a little bit of mobility, but he's a good-looking kid, and they want this kid to be great. They're forcing us on him. And he's in a big market now. He's in LA, and it's what has Herbert done that Trevor Lawrence hasn't? Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert.
I don't know.
No.
Well, maybe accolades why and playoff success. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has had more success in the playoffs than Justin Herbert. Dak has had more success in the playoffs than Justin Herbert. Let's look.
And to be fair, Dak is very criticized for the lack of success in the playoffs.
But you got a guy who's going 0-2 and blew a 27-0 lead, and then in the next time he gets there, he throws 4 interceptions and plays his worst game ever, and yet somehow his name keeps getting brought up in the mix of great quarterbacks, and it's bro's a regular season. He's a regular season killer. He's the Embiid of the NFL. If we're being honest, Embiid gonna give me 30 and 15 every night till May.
Because because it has to be done a traditional way, and until these people realize that there are, people. Well, you can't say everybody, but people are used to just things being done a certain way, and anything that counteracts that, it's a problem. When in reality, you should embrace doing things. Just because you've done it a certain way doesn't always mean it has to be done this way, especially if that other way is now been proven successful, right? When it's not even it's been done a certain way. How, prime example, how the Eagles currently play right now is how, and I don't want to give them props, is how the Cowboys played during that first run with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, in the 90s.
They play the exact same way. It's just the only difference is Jalen is mobile.
Yeah. Troy Aikman's another one I think is extremely overrated. He managed the game. He had so much talent around him. His job was not to make a mistake.
Yep.
So if you have that much talent around you, you have to have a guy that you can trust. And if all things break down, you know he's going to make the right decision. And
that's
that was
exactly what Jalen does.
And that's exactly what Jalen does. But somehow Troy Aikman is praised for being a great leader, and all of this other nonsense. And the same people who will say Troy Aikman is beyond a doubt a Hall of Fame quarterback have an issue with what Jalen does. Like, again, I don't care. Like, it's so many plays that don't show up in the stat sheet. When you look at him, how many yards did he throw for again? 151?
152. 152. 19 for 20, 152. No, I mean 19 for 23, 152.
19 for 23, 4 incompletions, 152. And then he ran for another 63 yards, right? He picked up 5 first downs. He picked up 5 first downs on the ground.
Yep.
He iced the game. The last first down, he iced the game. So I would rather my quarterback be 19 for 23 for 150 yards and 62 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns and win than my quarterback be 22 for 30 with 4 touchdowns through the air and lose. Like, I don't need all the stats. I don't need all of that. I W over stats.
Thank you. And that's the bottom line. Like, people are so jaded in just like out of touch with reality. You know what I'm saying? When you remember, I'm pretty sure y'all seen me post that meme. Win is winning, not the main thing. It doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. You know what I'm saying?
Keep the main thing the main thing, and the main thing is winning.
And forget style. This is, I mean, they act like they're going to the club.
I think it's a pick and choose whenever it's convenient type of thing. I think it's when you want to like stats, you're gonna use them, and when you want to like the winning, you're gonna use them. Because I have another little nugget here: 21 of 35 for 262 yards and an interception. 16 of 27 for 145 yards and a touchdown. Tom Brady gets credit for both of those Super Bowls against the Rams. Those aren't the greatest performances ever. But one of them, 145 yards, 16 to 27. I think Jalen just played better the other day.
Yeah, Antoine Smith should have been the MVP of that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and you still have GOAT. All the rings count. Everything counts. For some people, it doesn't. Yeah. For some people, it doesn't. And I think that just goes for, like I said, the pick and choose. Is when it's going to count and when it's not going to count.
When it's convenient for them, so they can. And that's why you can never pin down people on facts, because they will always try to wiggle their way out of it. Well, he did this. And the bottom line is, and I'll get to the point now where did he win or did he not win?
That's my only question.
Yes or no?
Yeah, because
I don't want to hear about nothing else you thinking. Did he win? Yes or no?
Right. Yep. And Tom doesn't have 6 rings. No matter how he plays, he got 2 of them from those 2 games.
Yep. Pretty much. Yep. So that was a good recap of those 2 games, man. And then obviously we're going to get into the Bud and Canelo fight. Artie, this is your place, man. What are you thinking?
My heart says Bud, my head says Canelo. Me personally, I feel Bud is better. Yeah. I feel like it's hard to make a prediction on this fight for the fact that we've never seen Bud all but one time at 154 and never above it, and they're fighting at 168. We have no idea how he's going to move, how his maybe the strength or the power, and Bud, and he's a powerful guy, but he's more of an accumulation puncher, a wear you down type of fighter. I will say one thing that works in his favor, and I don't know if it'll work this time because I think Canelo's he's always very confident, but I think he'll be more confident fighting against a guy coming up 2 weight classes. Canelo's not the fastest fighter or fastest mover in the world.
Right.
I always say he has his feet. Yeah, he's very flat footed. I always say he has his feet in the concrete. and he's stuck there, and he likes to be a counter puncher. So if Bud can retain the speed, he's got a reach advantage. He could outbox him, but that's the thing is if he can retain the speed, it's very hard to know whether or not he will. Impossible, really. I mean, he looks good, and he's taken, I think, over a year off to get into shape and to build up the weight and do it comfortably and do it the right way. So I would say if he retains everything, I got Bud. I think he's obviously a smart fighter. I don't think he's going to do anything to go in there and get knocked out. But we've seen Bud hurt before too. And Canelo being the bigger guy, never getting hit by somebody like that outside of sparring it's a different ball game. But my official prediction, I'm gonna go Bud, but I'm doing that with my heart. I really want Bud to win. And I'll enjoy the Canelo fans the day after if that happens, for sure.
So, Bud Greg knocked this man smooth the fuck out.
I hope so, man.
Listen. I'm a huge Canelo fan. Like these are my 2 favorite fighters in boxing right now. Canelo hasn't knocked anyone out in the last 3 years. Like Canelo hasn't knocked anyone out in the last. He could have pressed the issue. Like he could have pressed the issue with Charlo, and he didn't. What's Caleb Plant? He could knock Caleb Plant out. He could not out, right?
Yep.
Caleb Plant was actually winning the first couple of rounds easy. Like Laura, and if we're being completely honest, Triple G beat him the first fight.
He did.
Laura beat Canelo years ago. If Bud can take Canelo's punches, it depends. The fight plays out 3 ways. Canelo catches Bud and knocks him out. Like Canelo has to knock him out for this win.
Yeah. I agree with that.
If he catches Bud and Bud can, like you said, the only thing that gives me any doubt is the fact that he's jumping straight from 154 to 68. But that's my only and we don't know how he's going to react. He might catch him in the body. You know, boxing, you catch him in the body. You catch him with that right punch. Canelo could catch him with that right punch. And it's the end of the night for Bud. Because he's never been hit by a guy who is at 168, but who fights at 168. I really think Canelo, but this is what I'm about to say. So I really think, and I respect Canelo because I really think Canelo is a middleweight. I think he really should be fighting 160 still. But the money was at 168, and then he went up to 175, and he fought Bivol. So I respect that, but I think, like, I'm looking at the fight like this. Neither one of those guys are really 168 pounders. Like, I think Canelo's a middleweight, and Bud's coming up from 154 to fight a middleweight. Canelo's going to press the 168. The reason he wanted to fight him at 168 is because he knew if he cut the weight to 160, it was going to be a much fairer fight, and he really didn't stand a chance at 160.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bud would have worked him.
Canelo also, if he drains himself like that too, he has stamina issues.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So he knew he couldn't beat Bud at 160, so he's forcing him to come up to 168, which is fine because I think if Bud can handle Canelo's punches, it's going to be a long night for Canelo. I think also Canelo struggles with southpaws.
Switch hitter. Canelo
struggles with southpaws, so it wouldn't shock me if Bud comes out in the southpaw stance and just and boxes southpaw all night next Saturday, and Canelo has no answers for it. Like I think it's gonna either Bud's gonna catch him late because I think if Bud can take the punishment, Bud's gonna catch him in the 9th or 10th round, and it's gonna be a wrap. But if it goes to decision, that means Bud outboxed Canelo. But I think it's gonna be a knockout. I got Bud by a KO. Because he got the concrete on his feet. Like, it sounds good because I'm the bigger man. I'm going to stand there and exchange. Yeah, that sounds good. But if he's not Amir Khan. Like, Bud's not Amir. Bud has issues. But guess what? Every time I ever seen somebody hurt Bud, guess what happens within the next 3 to 5 minutes of the fight?
It's over.
They get knocked out.
Also, to bring up Amir Khan is kind of funny because I feel like the first few rounds of that fight with Amir Khan and Canelo, Amir was working on.
Well,
and Amir against Bud, Amir quit.
Yeah,
he got hit and quit.
Amir was winning them. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like Canelo was so much bigger than Amir, and it was like Amir is fast. Amir, I think Bud hits way harder than Amir.
Oh, for sure.
But Amir was boxing. Amir was literally doing what he wanted to against Canelo the first couple of rounds. But it's like those punches, those little shots didn't accumulate or didn't add up to anything.
And I think Amir has some glass right here too. I think he set the record for. He got knocked out in every weight class he fought in.
Every weight class, you catch Amir and he go to sleep for 2-3 days. But I think this, Bud can stick and move. But if Bud's plan is to stick and move, he's going to stick and move. But if Bud gets in there and he takes a couple shots from Canelo and realizes I can take this dude's punches. Like Charlo was a bitch. Like Charlo fought like a bitch that whole fight. Like Charlo didn't even attempt to engage. I think Charlo, he sold us the dream that he was going to go in there and do this and do that. And Derek James, Lions only. Them boys Spence, all them boys be big hype. He got there and let us down for the culture. Like, he let us down because I thought Charlo was going to go in there and stand toe to toe and try to fight. Charlo's not a boxer. The Charlos aren't. Bud's a way better technical fighter than both the Charlo brothers. The Charlos tried to stick and move, and that's not what they do. They bullies. And then he couldn't bully Canelo. Bud's a bully. Canelo's a bully. But the difference about Bud is not built like he's coming up. Bud walks around at about 180. You feel what I'm saying? Bud walks around at 180, 190. So now he don't got to cut the 154. He only got to cut the 168.
It could be easier.
If you look at Bud's base, like his hips, he has like movement. He can sit down on punches. He has way better defense than Charlo. Like I think he's a better boxer than Bivol. He isn't as big as Bivol. He's better like Canelo or Mayweather.
I think Bivol is a good comparison because I think sometimes Bivol does switch hit. But yeah. Bud is probably by far the best switch hitter in boxing.
Agreed.
And that causes problems for anybody, no matter who you are, because he switches stances effortlessly without the other fighter even noticing, and he's got power in both hands.
Both hands. He got bricks in both hands.
So the southpaw thing, it could be cool. Like, okay, Canelo, he can get used to that for the first 4 rounds. If he gets now I'm orthodox now.
Yeah.
Again. The last 4 rounds, okay, now I'm both.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, I think, if Bud does win, I think that right there makes the difference, is the switch hitting.
All I want to see is if Bud can take that man punches, because you know what and then like Canelo has to be gunning. Canelo knows he struggles in later rounds. So if he's going to try to get Bud out of here. If you can't get Bud out of here, all that punching on the arms, all that punching on this and hitting him on the arms and shit, no, it's not going to work because Bud's different, man. Bud got shot in the head, fam. Like, any man who got shot in the head and then come back and win a world championship is just different. Like Bud is going to knock that man out. It's going to be a sad day because I'm not even engaging in the conversation back and forth anymore with a lot of Canelo fans because a lot of Canelo fans are idiots. I like Canelo. Like I said, I think Canelo, what we've seen from him from the 16-year-old that was on the undercards to now, Canelo is a Hall of Fame boxer. He has a legitimate argument for being better than Julio Cesar Chavez. Canelo might be the greatest Mexican boxer ever. I like him that much. Like I like him that much. He's still, if I had to list my pound for pound top five, Canelo's probably fifth. Because I feel like Canelo has peaked and he's on the way down. I think Canelo's been around. We don't realize Canelo's been around for 20 years. It don't seem like 20 years. But he's been around for 20 years and he's done it at a really, really high level for 20 years. And I respect everything that Canelo has done. I think he's been gifted a few fights. But when Canelo was Canelo, he wasn't afraid to fight anyone. And we've seen that where he fought Floyd. He was killing it at 147. He came up to 54, fought Floyd, jumped up and fought Chavez Jr. at 60. I would like for him to fight Benavidez, but I don't think, like, again, he's 20 years in. It makes sense to me. Like, cats are saying he's ducking. I don't necessarily think he's ducking Benavidez, but I'm 20 years in. And I just want to make a couple. I want to make a couple more $1 million. So why am I going to fight Benavidez when I can fight Crawford, a smaller guy coming up, and make 3 times the money I would fighting Benavidez because Bud's a bigger name in boxing. So it makes sense because I think Bud only got 1 or 2 fights left in him right now, and if Bud wins this, win or lose, Bud's probably going to walk away. But I think if Bud wins here, he might go back down to 150, 154, 160 to fight Boots because I think this gives Boots time enough to get his name up and make it a worthwhile attraction for Bud. Like Boots got a year to get his name up there to make Bud want to fight him. But it's a win-win situation for Bud because if he goes out there and performs well, you have to respect it. If he goes out there and does what I think he's going to do, he solidifies himself as one of the greatest, but still the number 1 pound for pound boxer in the world in my eyes. And if he goes out there and beats Canelo, he can walk off in the sunset, and you have to respect it. Three division unified, and not only did he do it, he went up 2 weight classes. He went 140, 147. Took 1 fight at 154 and went up from 154 to 168 and beat the best person in the world at 168. This is a very winnable fight. I think casual fans don't realize how good Bud is because they like to say what are his signature wins and what did he do and why do people think he's so great. I like to say this, like everybody that you sat in front of this man, he's beaten. And it's not even, if you look at Bud the last 5 years, he fights and he does what he wants, and then as soon as Gamboa hurt him. Gamboa caught him clean. Next thing you know, Gamboa is knocked out. They told him he was losing against Sean Porter. Oh, I'm losing. Oh, losing this fight. What happened when they told him he was losing the fight?
There you go too. Before that fight happened, he's ducking Sean Porter, and nobody ever stopped Sean Porter. Not a single person in this world stopped him. Spence knocked him down. Nobody stopped that man. And they said Bud is afraid to go across the street. He's afraid to fight these guys. Stop him. Stopped everybody at 147. He was too small for 147. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that. Keith Thurman ain't want no smoke. Keith Thurman ain't want the smoke.
Keith Thurman probably got Mike Tyson next after Mayweather.
Yeah.
And it's like you watch this man. He and Earl Spence gonna knock him out. Earl Spence gonna walk through, but I said, what Earl Spence do y'all think is fighting, and what Bud do y'all think is fighting? Because I've never seen nobody bully Bud. Like we've never seen him get bullied. And I think Canelo and them really believe that they're gonna go in here and bully this man next Saturday. And I don't see that happening.
Only one guy tried in recent memory, and it was that Kavyaskis guy.
Yeah,
And what happened to him?
we seen how that ended. We seen how that ended.
Yep. But all right, fellas. That's the preview. We gave everybody the recaps of the two games, the Thursday and Friday games. Gave y'all the preview of the Bud and Canelo fight. It's been great chopping up with my fellas, man. It's been a good talk, good discussion with the people. Please, y'all get in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Next time coming around, um, you can find this at Because I Feel Like a Podcast IG. You can find us at the same as on Twitter, Because I Feel Like a Pod on Twitter as well. Just like and subscribe to that as well. Like and subscribe to the YouTube page, to the IG page. We also have a Facebook page. That's where we're at in general. Um, my guy Swerve Artie. We also got Nelson out there being the city councilman somewhere in the night. We got Walk doing the edits for the visuals. So if y'all need anything, please hit my man up, man. He's doing a lot of good work for us. And we may be on, might jump on tomorrow just to talk about something. If we see anything individually in the afternoon games or in the evening games. But we'll see. You, like I said, you're gonna see more of us, and you don't know what we might be talking about. This tonight it was Canelo and Bud. It could be something else crazy on, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. You know what I'm saying? But we are here, and y'all got anything else to say?
I'll finish off that. Another note that we didn't really hit on, but the U.S. Open women's final was today. Sabalenka beat Anna Samova. Tough for U.S. woman not to win it, but Coco obviously won it a couple years ago. Yeah. And tomorrow's the men's finals. Alcaraz Center. They play each other in every major final nowadays. So
it feels like they're any tournament there it's going to be them in the finals.
Yeah. So I saw Center on Monday. Looks unstoppable, but I'm Team Alcaraz. So hopefully he'll.
Yeah, my man, dog. What's his name? He played him. Yesterday.
Djokovic.
Yeah, man, he broke him. You know what I mean? Like he looked like Joker just didn't even like he was there, man. He like a shell of himself. Like you knew.
These young dudes are too good, man. And he's older now, but these young dudes.
Yep. But again, everybody like and subscribe to the Because I Feel Like a Podcast page on YouTube. Also, give us a follow on the Twitter and IG as well, man. This is Artie, Marv, myself. We got Walk in the background, man. We got Nelson. I don't know where he at, but he out there somewhere, man. And y'all have a good evening and a good weekend. We'll holler at y'all.
Yeah, Alcaraz gonna win tomorrow.
All right, y'all. Y'all take care.
Peace.